Without a doubt, the biceps are one of the most important muscle groups for creating a visually appealing body. When the biceps are strong and well developed, they can add bulk to the upper arm and form a distinct peak when the arm is flexed. The biceps are one of the most commonly trained muscular groups, yet they are also one of the most difficult to build. Weird, right? Mostly because picking up a dumbbell at random and curling it won't likely give you the developed biceps you're after. Instead, take a more methodical approach to exercising your biceps by paying great attention to form during your workouts. Look at this clip of someone curling, for instance. If you can't identify at least 2 of my errors, you're undoubtedly making at least one of them yourself, and that error could be stunting your development. So, in this video, I'll discuss the top 5 faults that people make that prevent their biceps from expanding. Number 1. Wrong muscles are being used. The first and most common error is shifting your focus away from your biceps and using other muscles to curl the weight instead. I made this mistake for a long time without even realizing it. The 3 muscles most responsible for this are the front deltoids, upper traps, and forearms. The good news is that you can easily address all of these by making some little adjustments to your form. If your elbows slide forward as you curl, that's a sure sign that your front delts are doing most of the work. Since the biceps also weakly aid in shoulder flexion, some degree of movement during a curl is to be expected. However, when this movement becomes excessive, it represents a severe problem since it removes tension from the biceps. Instead, you should use a lighter weight and make sure your elbow is locked in and pinned to your side during the curl. Thus, this will force your biceps to do most of the work and will spare your front delts. If you still have trouble keeping your elbows locked in place while performing the curl, you might try doing it with your back and elbows against the wall. The second muscle is the upper trap, and it's a little harder to pinpoint but just as common. If your trapezius muscle are dominant in the curl, you will shrug your shoulders up towards your ears. Again, this relieves a lot of pressure off your biceps, suggesting that you should definitely reduce the weight. Instead, you should pull your shoulders down and away from your ears before you curl, and maintain this depressed position throughout the exercise to target your traps. By doing so, you'll immediately redistribute the pressure back to your biceps. Finally, flexing your wrist as you curl the weight allows your forearms to take control. It not only takes the pressure off the biceps, but also mechanically favors the wrists. Instead, you should retain your wrist in a neutral or slightly extended position to maximize the load on your biceps and improve your wrist stability. Number 2. Flexibility in every direction. Although it is possible to focus on developing specific parts of the biceps by limiting their range of motion, in most cases, the whole range of motion is better. This is because various studies have shown that using a full range of motion is better for building strength and muscle than using a limited range of motion. In a 2012 study, Pinto and co-workers discovered that doing the biceps curl with a complete range of motion resulted in considerably better biceps growth and a 25% gain in strength compared to just 16% in the partial range of motion group. If you want to make sure your biceps are fully stretched before each exercise, contract your triceps at the bottom of each rep. Because of reciprocal inhibition, this will also aid enhance the recruitment of the biceps in the subsequent repetition. Number 3. Not making the mind-muscle link. The previous tip will greatly enhance the strain exerted on the biceps. Nevertheless, it is also crucial to genuinely feel and focus on the biceps functioning during your exercises. The impact on your development will be big for sure. By focusing on squeezing the biceps during each rep of a curl, for instance, subjects in a study conducted by Schoenfeld and colleagues saw nearly double the muscle growth in their biceps compared to subjects who were instructed to simply get the weight up. So, rather than merely trying to curl the weight, you should concentrate on feeling the biceps functioning, which frequently requires you to put your pride aside and utilize a lighter weight. Curling with the mental image of squeezing the bar into your body might be a good mental cue if you're having trouble getting the weight up. Focus on contracting your biceps to bring the bar closer to your body. Doing so will help you get a better biceps contraction with every rep. Number 4. Ignoring the long head and short head. You see, training both the short head and the long head of the biceps is essential for complete and balanced growth of the muscle. Biceps exercises that involve bringing the elbows in front of the torso target the short head by forcing the long head into active insufficiency. Spider curls, breacher curls, chin-ups, and so on are all effective ways to build a stronger back and shoulders. On the other hand, biceps workouts that involve bringing the elbows behind the body are a great way to highlight the long head. Incline dumbbell curls, behind the back cable curls, and drag curls are all effective methods for developing these muscles. However, I recommend that individuals who are beyond the beginner stage include 1 or 2 exercises for the short head and 1 or 2 activities for the long head in their overall routine and focus on progressing these movements over time, rather than trying to complete all of these exercises at once. Number 5. Volume overload. Increasing the volume of a muscle group's workout is a common response when it isn't reacting as expected. However, you should be aware of how your volume is accumulating through other movements, such as on your back or pull days, where your biceps are heavily involved in almost every exercise you typically perform. This is because of Brad Schoenfeld's 2016 meta-analysis, which found that up to a certain point, more volume does mean more growth. It's possible that doing a lot of isolated exercises on top of this will have the opposite impact. Research suggests that non-responders often display an exaggerated inflammatory response to training compared to high responders, making them a particularly difficult condition. They show higher inflammation and muscle injury following training, which suggests a lower volume approach may be preferable. If your biceps aren't responding to increased volume, try cutting back on the amount of work you're giving them and seeing what happens. Stick to just a couple of isolation exercises and prioritize increasingly overloading those, in addition to your major pulling movements, rather than saying bringing in 4 or more isolation exercises to your entire regimen. It's likely that your biceps will respond positively to the reduced volume. So that's gonna wrap up this video. We hope you found this video insightful and gained valuable knowledge on how to avoid these common pitfalls. Remember, achieving bigger and more defined biceps is not just about working harder but working smarter. By addressing these mistakes and implementing the correct techniques, you'll be well on your way to maximizing your bicep growth potential. Don't let these errors hold you back any longer. Start implementing these changes into your workouts and witness the incredible transformation in your biceps. Stay dedicated, stay focused, and enjoy the journey towards massive biceps. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.